Good afternoon, teacher. Today is Friday 28th. We're going to do an interview. My partner's name's Maria Eugenia Zapata. My name's Marvin Pimentel. In the first place, what is your full name?
My full name is Maria Eugenia Zapata Morales. Now, I'd like would you defend back to the earliest thing you can remember. How old were you and what was going on?
Well, I don't remember how old I had, but I recall that I was under a tree. My brother was at the top of the tree taking orange. In a moment, he threw orange. By it, something got in my eyes, and that was painful. That the rest of the day, I couldn't open my eyes. Mm. Is there anything special or unusual about your name or the way you were named?
My parents are Christians, so they called my life the Virgin Maria, and my second name like my mother, Eugenia. Um, I like my name. It's beautiful. What do you remember about that time before you went to school?
Well, I can remember um, something that happened to me. Just some just before I start my school, that was as a little accident. Was when I want to eat a fruit. In that time I was um, a small boy, so I can take my the fruit with my hands. So I decided to put a chair under the trees, and then I climbed the chair to take the fruit. But my dog in that moment was running. The dog moved with a chair, and I fall. I dislocated my wrist. Um, when and where you were?
I was born in January 1st, 1989. I was born in Puerto Armuelles.
So that makes you 32 years old now, right?
Of course, where did you live when you were little, and what did your house look like?
I lived a short time in Panama City in the house of my grandmom. I don't recall how was the house, but I just remember that the house was color cream and was beautiful. Do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, I do.
What are their names and age?
My brothers, Isaiah Zapata, he is 40, 41 years old, and my brother Onesimo Zapata, and he is 42 years old. And,
Are they still living?
and yes, they are. When and where did you go? Why did you choose to go there? And what did you study?
I went to the beach. Um, I studied English course. I chose that place because it was interesting. What
Okay.
are your parents' occupations?
My mother is a housewife and my father was partner of the company Copemapachi RL. Uh, how did you go? How do you do there and did you graduate?
I did many activities, practice and exercises to learn English. Um, I did graduate. In fact, I have a certificate. Um, did you know your grandparents?
And no, I didn't.
What can you tell me about them?
They were friendly and active. How did you pay for the schooling?
I paid with money. I paid a lot of money, and that was expensive.
Okay.
Um, what can you tell me about your family father back then your grandparents?
I don't know much about them, but I have listened that they worked hard to get their own stuff. Um, Now, I'd like you to think back on an incident in design that you remember well. What was going on?
Yes, in fact, it was funny. It's funny, because one Saturday that I had class at 1 p.m., I arrived to the place and I was waiting. The teacher called me, and when he did, I into the classroom. A short time then, he repeated the name again, and he said Marvin Morales, but I am not Marvin Morales. So I into in the round classroom. Um, what is your ethnic origin and how has it affected your life?
Well, we are a mix of rice, and this do not affect my life. Sent to God. Um, how were your best friends from this period of time, and do you still see any of them?
I can say that in that period, I don't make friends. Um, just then, I graduated. Uh, I had contact with a girl, but after a time, I lost contact with her. Is there anything else you can share me with with me about your family history?
In at this moment, I do not have nothing in mind.
Or any unusual events or famous person? Is your family well known for anything?
Well, They are very important, but they are not famous. And no, it is not. Who did you date during this period of your life? And what sort of things did you do on your dates?
It's fun because in fact in that period I was outing of a relationship, but I don't have something to say. Where did you go to elementary school and what year did you start?
I was in the elementary school in Blanco Arriba, and I started in the year 2001. Where have you lived during your adult life?
I lived with my parents, but I had a time I was living with my cousin in another house, but was for a short time.
Okay.
Now, it allows you to think back to an incident in grade school which you remember well. What's going on?
An incident that I can tell you. One day the teacher was out of the classroom, and the classmates were very noisy. When the teacher arrived, and she gave us all a rule and left us marked on the left, and that day was very unpleasant and, and painful. What did you do between the time you left home, graduated, and the time you got married?
I was study again, but I never married.
Okay.
Some other vivid memories of your elementary school years.
We always receive. I always receive and play and enjoy a snack. What was your first, second, etc. Job after you left home?
I had one for a short time in a mall. How were your grades in grammar school?
Well, some summers I spent at relatives' home, and other at my house with my cousin.
How did you spend your summer during grade school?
Well, some summers I spent at relatives' homes, and other at my house with my cousins. What about your career? Have you found most satisfying?
Well, sincerely, doubtfully nothing.
Okay.
Did you have any pets when you were little?
No, I didn't not.
Dale.
About your career, would you like to have done differently?
I would not like to change anything. While you were growing up, did you have any sense of whether your family was rich or poor? And what would you say now about your family economic circumstances when you were growing up?
As a child, I knew that my family and I were middle class. Are you now, or have you ever been prominent, be famous, or well known for anything?
Well, no, I have never been in that way. Were you happy as your young child?
Yes, I was, because I looked at my family together every moment. And when I was a child, and, and I had everything I needed.
Well, uh, what you what would you say about your relationship with your parents?
My parents and I have very good communication, and we also share all the time.
Where and in what years did you go to high school?
I was to the high school of Blanco Arriba at the years 2007. Yes, I did. Now, to take stock as of this point in your life, have your life turned out as you imagined it would?
No, but I think that things never happened as we hope or we want. Where did you live during this time?
I live in Blanco Arriba at the moment I am here. What's been your greatest accomplishment so far?
My best goal until now was that I could graduate from high school. Now, it allows you to think back to an incident in high school which you remember well. What was going on?
An incident in high school. Well, I remember in a normal day, everybody were in different class uh, suddenly it started uh, to, to shake hard, and we all went out to a million of the classroom. But thanks to God, it did not get older, just scared. What's been your greatest disappointment or frustration?
My most disappointment was in the high school because I think I could do better. However, I don't regret because that made important moment in my life. How were your grades in high school and did you graduate?
My grades were regulars. Yes, I did. What's the most important thing in your life right now?
Thirdly, my family and my studies.
Okay.
Um, what subjects and teacher did you particularly enjoy?
I like the physical, chemistry, and geography. Those subjects were easy for me. I think that they love it to teach. What would you have done differently in your life if would know then what you know now?
Um, I I can say with sure nothing. I think um, all things help us to be better. Um, Nobody born now. Um, what social group did you belong to in high school? What kind of kids did you associate with?
I always treat everyone the same of the reason. I don't know what social group I was in. What are your goals right now and what do you hope to accomplish next?
In this moment, my objective is that I can graduate and obtain my degree. Who were your best friends during high school, and are you still in contact with any of them?
My best friends during high school are Nuris, Lexi, and Miriam. Yes, we are usually in contact. If you could do anything you want to do, what would it be?
Clearly, would be play an instrument and sing.
Yeah.
Did you have a favorite sport and were you on any teams?
My favorite uh, sport is baseball. No, I was not. What do you think will be the major world event of the next 10 years?
Um, I really don't know. Um, I don't want to know, but I one thing that I can suppose maybe will happen is the global warming can be growth, the thawing of glaciers. Um, who was the first boy you ever seriously kissed? How old were you and what were the circumstances?
Yeah. I did not remember this moment. I am sorry. What are the most important things you learned about life thus far?
Well, um, during all of my life, one thing of I was learning is the self love. Did you attend your senior prom? And if so, who was your date and what was it like?
No, I have been Christian since I was a little. I didn't know that attended um, that event. What is your philosophy of life?
In fact, it's a phrase um, that I have for this that I read some months ago. That is the phrase saying a little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men. If you could have changed one thing about your high school years, what would it have been?
I wish I have been more applied with my duties. What role does religion play in your life?
Um, I always said that I born in in the church because my mother is Christian. I know a religion, and I think it wasn't for that I don't would a good person maybe. Um, maybe I was doing wrong things. What was going on in your family when you were in high school?
Thank God, everything was quiet and normal. Now, for some advice for your great grandchildren, what would you say to them about the area of education?
Um, I really don't know because I don't have great grandchildren. So sorry, I can answer. Um, did your family take vacation, and if so, what were they like?
No, I did not. What about Susan? and managing careers?
Well, I think it just discover and find what are passionate about and to choose the best election. How would you sum up your childhood and adolescence?
I would marry uh, marry is design aware filled field of most farm um, and also with some responsibility. What advice would you give them about money?
Well, I I I say that the money is not at all. It's important, yes, because help us to live, but it's not at all. We can be happy with simple things, not with money. Do you enjoy traveling and where have you gone?
I like most to travel, but I only have traveled inside of country, different parts like Boquete, the Volcán, the Bocas del Toro, and others province. What do you have to say to them about love and marriage?
Um, I read a phrase that say that the love also we have to learning, and above all we have to love ourselves first because ourselves are our most important project. About marriage, I say there's not hurry. First, we have to know people, um, choose the correct person to be the rest of the life without regret. What would you say has been your greatest adventure so far?
My greatest adventure was visit the granja, la granja Campo y Aventura S.A. In Colombia. They provide a good service like like agrotourism, agrotourism, canopy, boarding, horseback, uh, extreme park, and fishing, among others activities. What about how to raise children?
I don't have kids. I don't wanna say something wrong. So I'm sorry, I can't answer this question. What interests and hobbies do you have, and what do you like to do for fun?
I like to listen to music. I play baseball, and I love to say. Think future generation. Sorry. Tienes que cortarle ahí.
Ajá.
Think future generations of your family will be watching this. What do you have to say to them?
In the first place, love God, and then love yourself above all, and live to the maximum. What organization do you belong to?
I attend the Assembly of God. Is there anything else you would like to add or to say to complete things?
No, I think I say everything. The last time you voted in a presidential election, who did you vote for and why?
I did not vote the last time because I was not on the list.
Is politics important to you?
No, it's not.
That's all, teacher. Bye.
Bye.